Hello, I'm Aryam, and this is my November 2025 TBR. That is all the books I hope to read in November of 2025. So let's start with what I'm already reading. So I'm currently reading Constance Verity Saves the World by Aeldia Martinez. This is the second book in the Constance Verity trilogy, and basically we have this superhero, Constance Verity, and the first book I loved. Honestly, I'm not sure what the plot is in the second book because I didn't read the summary. I just went like, I love the first book so much, I have to go into it. But so far, it's been like just a lot of her trying to like have real relationships with people instead of just being a superhero. So I am enjoying it. Then I'm not reading anything else right now, but I am. Today is the 31st of October, and there is a good chance that I'll start A Matter of Execution today by Nicholas and Olivia Atwater. Also, if I don't, I already have it out from the library, so I do plan to read it in November anyways, with God's help. And this is a book. This is a novella. As I saw, it's 138 pages, and it's about a goblin who is saved from an execution, and then she has to go and do something. It's spy and it's politics. I hope I like it. It's very different from the other stuff of Olivia, what I've read. But I do like political fantasy. Okay, and then we're going to do something we never did before. So when I am ready to read a physical book off my TBR for Shabbos, I have this little box, and I shake it up, and I choose a paper from here. It has some of the books on my physical TBR. Now, I do this whenever I'm ready to read a physical book, but it just so happens that I am ready this Shabbos, which is literally tonight, so let's choose together. Okay. Says, The Worlds of A.E. Van Vogt. Okay. This is a science fiction book I borrowed from my father. A.E. Van Vogt was a very famous science fiction writer in the Silver Age of science fiction. But I don't think I've ever actually went and read him. So this is a collection of short stories by him. So this has 15 stories which were published originally between 1937 to 1971. So a lot of different stuff. Then I'm also planning to read The Oathbreakers. Wait, The Oathbreakers or The Oathbound? I can't remember. Okay. Uh, okay. Let's go here. Something didn't load properly. Now I'm confused. Should have just paused that. I thought it was going to take a second. Okay. Oathbreakers by Mercedes Lackey. So this is actually a book that happens in the world of Valdemar that I have not read yet. So Valdemar is a magical world created by Mercedes Lackey. This is a book that happens... Well, it doesn't matter, because if you've read it, it happens. You probably know it. If you've not, it does not matter when this book happens. But this book is about two women. I believe that they're unfortunately not lesbians. But anyways, and they're magical. They have a magical sword. You know, this book is a classic sword and sorcery book, and I love how Mercedes Lackey writes that. Okay, and it's actually a prequel to a book I've already read. Then I also want to read Smoke and Shadow Parts 1, 2, and 3 by Jean Lewin Yang. This is a comic book. So basically there's the Avatar: The Last Airbender TV show, and then there are a series of comic book trilogies. And this is the fourth comic book trilogy that I'm up to. So, yeah. Do I know what it's about? No, I don't remember, but does it matter? No, because I probably couldn't tell you anyways. I really enjoyed the last trilogy. The first trilogy I didn't really like. I feel like they've been getting better. Like the first comic book trilogy I didn't really like. The second book I liked okay. The third one I really liked. So now we're up to Smoke and Shadow, though I did have some problems with that one. Then we're getting to my prompts. So I do 4 different prompts every month. So 2 Buzzwordathon prompts and 2 A Year in Aeldia prompts. So the Buzzwordathon is you get 2 prompts, one for something, a word that has to be in the title, and one for something that has to be on the cover. For A Year in Aeldia, it's part of the Aurelian Magical Readathon, which mainly takes place in September and April, but there is a yearly adventure where your character has a different prompt every month. And actually 2 characters, which is why I'm doing 2 prompts. So for Buzzwordathon, the title prompt is to have the word never in the title, and the cover prompt is to have food or drink on the title. Then let me pause a moment. Then for A Year in Aeldia, the prompts are to read a nonfiction book and to read a book with under 3,000 ratings on a book review site, and I chose Goodreads. So, why did I put these together? Because I'm combining one of the Buzzwordathon and one of the Year in Aeldia prompts. So, for the Buzzwordathon prompts, food or drink on the cover, and for the Year in Aeldia prompt under 3,000 ratings, I am planning to read All's Fair by Nancy E. Krulik. This is part of the Kitty book series, which is about a girl who makes a wish that she could be anyone but her after a really bad day. And that wish comes true. Every book has the magic wind come and turn her into someone else. It's just a cute little early chapter book series. So, All's Fair, it has caramel apples on the cover, and candy apples, I mean. Why did I say caramel apples? Anyways, candy apples, and from the cover picture, I see that it's taking place in a county fair. What is with me today? Replacing candy apples, county fair. And it also has under 3,000 ratings on Goodreads. Okay, then for the Buzzwordathon prompt for the word never in the title, I am planning to read Folktales for Fearless Girls, The Stories We Were Never Told, edited by Miriam Sayalari and illustrated by Danny Torrent. This makes me a little nervous because whenever you get this super woke stuff, the stories we were never told, they also tend to be anti-Semitic. But I'm a little less nervous because these are, from what I understand, not stories that were written now, but just fairy tales that they gathered that were maybe less known and have girls saving themselves. And I love fairy tales, so, and yes, fairy tales can also be quite anti-Semitic, but yeah. Then lastly, but not leastly, for a nonfiction book, I chose Not in God's Name, Confronting Religious Violence by Rabbi Lord Jonathan Sacks. And I love that it just says here, Jonathan Sacks. If you don't know, Rabbi Lord Jonathan Sacks was the chief rabbi of the UK up until a few years ago. He was one of the most well-known rabbis in the world. But this whole thing is like that. It just says here Jonathan Sacks, and then in the back it has a blurb by Ruby Rivlin. Who is Ruby Rivlin? We don't know. Former president of Israel. But basically, I think we can understand what this book is about from the title. This is the first Rabbi Sacks book I actually heard about, I think. And I've never read a book by Rabbi Sacks before. I have read his articles, a lot of which were made into books, so I can technically say that I did read his book because I read all the articles, but that doesn't actually count, I think. I've gone to classes by the Rabbi Sacks Foundation, but I've never read a book by him, and this was the first one I heard about. No, I did! I did read a book by him. God, what was it called? I forget. No, I did read a book by him, but I thought I didn't actually love it. And so this is the first one I heard about. It was one I was most interested in, and it's the one that I'm still the most interested in. It's also a National Jewish Book Awards winner. I've basically loved every book I read that was a Jewish Book Awards winner. Tfu, tfu, tfu. So high hopes for this one. Okay, that's it. That is all the books that I hope with God's help to read in November.